The two-day capacity building workshop is organized by INEC in collaboration with the European Union. It is often said that democracy will only grow and flourish through adherence by the media to professional and ethical standards. Basically, the critical role of the media, especially the INEC press corps in the electoral process, is to avail the stakeholders of timely and relevant information pertaining to the electoral process. It is also to carry out voter education and public enlightenment, amongst others. The workshop therefore provides opportunity for participants to be equipped with adequate knowledge of the processes of the Commission, provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 and the electoral activities lined up for the conduct of the 2023 general elections.
The Commission has introduced new innovations, and there are new and other creative issues within the electoral legal framework. One, we have a new Electoral Act 2022. It is important for the INEC Press Corps to be familiar with these provisions, and also to be familiar with the changes that has occurred in terms of the Electoral Act.
It's a good occasion for both sides to clarify matters, for the press to ask questions on matters where they're not clear, or where they're not sure, or where there are rumors out there which are not necessarily true.
In a related development, Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has issued a fresh warning to the 18 political parties that fielded candidates for next year's general elections to desist from any form of abuse languages, or hate speeches ahead of Wednesday's campaign kick-off. It specifically urged all the registered parties to critically study and pay attention to the provisions of the Constitution, the Electoral Act, the Police Act, and the Public Order Act for proper and the peaceful conduct of political campaigns, rallies, and processions. Chairman of the Commission, Mahmood Yakubu, gave the charge at the ongoing two-day capacity building workshop on the Commission's progresses, innovations, preparations for the 2023 general elections, and critical issues in the Electoral Act 2022 in Lagos. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has said it has no plan to jettison the Bermuda voter accreditation system and electronic transmission of results for the 2023 general elections. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu gave the assurance on Monday in Lagos at a two-day capacity building workshop for INEC press corps members on critical issues in the Electoral Act 2022 and the Commission's processes, innovations, and preparations for the 2023 general election. Yakubu's assurance came after the coalition of united political parties had earlier this month alleged that there are secret plans by some politicians to stop the use of beavers and electronic transmission of results for the 2023 elections. COP also alleged that a lawsuit has been instituted before the Federal High Court in Owerri, Imo State, to that effect. But the INEC chairman, represented by the National Commissioner and chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, noted that the goal of the commission was electoral justice, where every Nigerian would experience electoral fulfillment. According to him, the commission would continue to use technology to improve and enhance the credibility of elections in Nigeria. In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has continued to.
So at 6 months to the elections, Nigerians have an idea of the names of the candidates, and I think that will help us in making our decisions come 2023.
It's a welcome development. It will really assist political parties to be focused. Having known the candidates of various offices by the political parties, they have less problem now. It will also assist the populace, the electorate, to know who are they going to vote for. You will recollect that in the recent times, it is no more political parties, but the candidates themselves.
This is the first time we're experiencing something like that. We'll see how it goes.
if it's good or not, we would know for our democracy. And that's why the laws keep changing. That's why we have the National Assembly. That's why we have people in power, in positions to make new laws. If it's not good enough, if there's a problem, they would obviously correct it.
Similarly, the Commission is also expected to release the final list for the governorship and state assemblies on Tuesday, 4th of October 2022. Hearing people's opinions, they are anxiously awaiting the list.
My expectation that INEC should have released everything once and for all. They should have, if they are still in that, they should have released everything once and for all. By and large, it is not too late. We hope they will release in time, so that the issue of who is the candidate for social office doesn't come up at all.
Just like has been done some days back, we expect that the next batch of names will be released, which would include the names of the governorship aspirants and their deputies, and of course, I think State House of Assembly. We also anticipate that, and we expect that INEC will do the needful, so that before campaigns kick up fully, Nigerians will have an idea of the names of the candidates who are vying for different offices, and that will help them in choosing their representatives come 2023.
Ahead of the envisioned campaign, the resident electoral commissioner for INEC, Ogun State, Niyi Ijalaye, stated the preparation of the commission towards ensuring equity and fairness among all parties.
We have departments in here that will continue coming. Our officers will be out to commence measurement of money spent, so as to ensure that they are within the law. Our monitors will, want to look at the posters that are posted. We want to look at the campaign, podium and everything, and whatever that is done, we'll quantify it in terms of costs, and it must fall within what is stipulated by the law, failing which such party would have breached the relevant laws and will be susceptible to being punished accordingly.
Jalai also assured Nigerians of credible elections come 2023 as he advocates for the collection of PVCs by the electorate. Ayodeji Olunmi, OGTV News.
As political parties and their candidates prepare to commence campaigns for different offices on the 28th of September 2022, as announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission, a survey by OGTV News crew has shown that an overwhelming majority of Nigerians want to vote candidates that can tackle the problems of insecurity, economic hardship, and education, among others, head-on. Benga Adekoya in this report x-ray the preparedness of the political parties, electorate, and the umpire. His report is presented in this package.
Now for this life, now so palava. Attire for this problem, attire for life.
The jingle was adjudged to be one of the most catchy, informative, entertaining, and explanatory political jingles in the history of democracy in Nigeria. And a lot of similar vibes are about to again hit the ground running, as the nation's Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has set a date for the 2023 general elections electioneering campaign, which begins on the 28th of September 2022. Nigerians are not new to electioneering campaign, dated back to First Republic, that featured the likes of Sir Tafawa Balewa, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Alhaji Shehu Shagari, among others.
Under the law, there are critical time-bound activities from the publication of the notice of election to the conduct of polls, which form the timetable and schedule of activities for the elections.
As political parties kickstart their electioneering campaign for the 2023 general elections, perception of Nigerians towards the exercise revealed that eligible voters are eager to exercise their franchise by electing leaders that are credible, competent, have capacity to deliver on their electioneering promises. Religion and ethnic affiliations may not have much influence on their voting patterns and in 2023 elections.
Cards for the first or second quarters are out, and they are already in our office at Magnon and in all our other local government areas for collection. And we are using this medium to appeal to all of us who have registered to please go and pick these cards. Without these cards, it will be totally impossible to vote come 2023. And the cards are there, but for
the third quarter, the card will be ready at the end of October. And the final quarter, which is the fourth quarter, the card will be ready at the end of November 2022.
Everybody, reporters in OGTV, all media outlets, all lawyers, judges, police officers, market men and women, our fathers and mothers, our children, everybody, all hands have to be on deck. We should have a common goal, which is to make Nigeria a better and more peaceful place, really. So those that are bent, for example, on fomenting trouble, maybe because they are not winning or they think they are being shortchanged or the likes, should go to the right avenue to pursue their rights or whatever, really.
Electorate and umpires with government at all levels not left out, but were however admonished to wake up to their responsibilities and exercise their franchise. Despite the current state of insecurity in the nation, Nigerians are optimistic that nothing would stop the nation from having a free, fair and credible elections come 2023.
General election is going to hold. Of course, it won't stop us. Life will continue no matter what the tension in the land is. Every activity that is meant to take place will still take place. As long as there is no war, then everything that is meant to be done would actually be done. It is only war that can stop some of all of this thing, and it is not everything. Nigeria is not going into war.
In the timetable rolled out by INEC earlier this year, the President and National Assembly elections will hold on Saturday, February 25th, 2023, followed by the governorship and state assembly elections on Saturday, March 11th, 2023.
The Osun Election Petition Tribunal hearing petition emanating from the July 16 governorship poll has adjourned further sitting till Tuesday, October 4, for the respondents to file their responses to the issues raised for determination. The sitting of the panel, presided over by the chairman of the panel, Justice Testia Kume, on Monday in Oshogbo, Osun State, was also attended by other members of the panel, Justices Benedict Amogbi and Bashiru Rabi. Addressing the panel, Professor Kayode Olatoke, who represented the petitioners, Mr. Adegbuiga Oyetola, and the All Progressives Congress, informed the panel that he had filed the pre-trial form containing his responses to issues listed for determination. Olatoke, who appeared with Yomi Aliyu and Muritala Abdul Rashid SAN, also said the respondents' Independent National Electoral Commission, Senator Ademola Adeleke, and the People's Democratic Party had been served. He asked the tribunal to stand down the matter for 2 hours so that the respondents can also file their pre-trial form for the matter to proceed to hearing. But lead counsel for the respondents, Professor Paul Ananaba, who appeared with Oluwale Jimi Bada Mubarak Adekilekun and Nuruddin Karim, said he had not seen copy of the petitioner's pre-trial form. Ananaba then insisted that the respondents should be allowed 7-day window stipulated in the second schedule of the Electoral Act for them to respond appropriately. In his ruling, the chairman of the panel, Justice Kume, adjourned the matter to Tuesday, October 4, before which the respondents must have filed their pre-trial forms. The 5.7-kilometer Kemta-Shomori Road in Abeokuta South local government of Ogun State is nearing completion. Our reporter, Margaret Okunlola, took a visit to their area as road users and commuters expressed delight on the imminent upsurge in socio-economic life along the road corridor. Our report.
More than often, the Adaton-Obantoko road has become a nightmare for road users, with man-hours wasted on a route that should not last more than 20 minutes. Being an administration that is committed to the welfare of its residents and has consistently delivered on its Ishaya mantra, the 5.7-kilometer of Kenta-Shomori Road is another project that would have direct impact on the lives of people by easing the traffic bottleneck on the ever-busy Obantoko corridor. The road is a major bypass for road users heading towards Obantoko and Ibadan via Idiaba and its environs.
We have about, let's say, 4 or 5 communities This road link Ilogun, Ogunji, Ajangbon, Iliti, Bambo, Olonchogo 2, and Olonchogo 1.
Residents, commuters and road users were full of enthusiasm that the road would open the corridor to more development, thereby scaling up their socio-economic way of life. They said it is another step in the right direction by the current administration.
The road was bad and it was untarred. Everywhere was muddy because this side is a muddy area, and it was so bad. That's just what I can say, because especially in the rainy season, this particular season.
He has been doing a very nice job concerning the inner road. We appreciate it, we love it. As the road is made, the development will come. People will start to move in, they will start to develop their property. The property will even appreciate.
Before, our car, maybe every week, we are going to mechanic village to repair the car. But now, since when they are finished this road, we don't go anywhere. We are happy with the governor.
With the latest developments and given the low compliance with traffic laws, some advocated speed breakers for safety of all and sundry.
But the clause there, like I said, is this speed breaker. The government should please save our life.
This is one out of many ongoing and even completed infrastructure projects by the current administration in the state for social development. It's Margaret Okunlola reporting for OGTV News.
Still ahead on the news, federal government directs vice chancellors to reopen universities. More news and reports after this break. You're watching OGTV News, and now to the Federal Capital Territory, where President Muhammadu Buhari is back in Abuja after his outing at the 77th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, the United States of America. The president was received on arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by his Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello, Inspector General of Police Usman Kali Baba, Director General, Department of State Services, Yusuf Magachi, Bichi, and other senior government officials. While in New York, the president delivered the Nigerian national statement to the world's latest diplomatic gathering and participated in various high-level events critical to the security and stability of the country, as well as socio-economic development. This outing at the UN General Assembly by President Buhari is the last under his administration. Presidential spokesperson Femi Adesina described the week-long activities as significant, effective, and historical.
Have been at the UN General Assembly. One was done virtually because of COVID, and I believe that in those outings, the president has represented the country well, with dignity, with honor. And I believe that that last speech at the UN was quite effective. In terms of the major takeaways, yes, you know that there were many bilateral meetings. We dwelt on the economy, we dwelt on security, we dwelt on healthcare, and very many other areas in which Nigeria can be benefited. And most importantly, there was that investment summit which brought global CEOs of businesses from around the world. It was a good outing for Nigeria, and as the benefits will begin to cascade in, it's going to be for the good of the country.
The intervention of the governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun's administration, has been said to witness immense turnaround in infrastructure development in schools across the state. Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Aribabu, made this known at the commissioning ceremony and handing over of a school hall and borehole donated to Shokme Comprehensive High School, Ijebu-Igbo, by the family of late Olorilu Amos Olatunji Ogunbanjo. Professor Aribabu posited that the support and collaboration of well-meaning individuals, philanthropists, and organizations, there would be notable improvement and all-round development in schools. He revealed that the revitalization agenda of the present administration has led to many innovations targeted at improving standard and elevate academic performance. The commissioner also appreciated the family of late Pa Ogunbanjo for deeming it worthy to contribute to the development of the school through their donation, while urging the school to make good use of the school hall. He also called on the students to imbibe the spirit of giving back to their alma mater.
This administration is going to do it as business unusual, not business as usual. And that is what has led to this. Otherwise, we will have achieved what we have achieved in just over 3 years. And we have just started. And that is why there is need to complete this work. Now, we saw the area of infrastructure, which is one of the legs of the state education revitalization agenda.
In his address, the Orimolusi of Ijebu-Igbo, His Majesty Oba Lawrence Jayoba, said giving to the development of education is a notable achievement and legacy which everyone must strive to leave behind. In his remarks, a former deputy governor and the senator in the state, Alhaji Adegbinga Kaka, commended the state government for the timely intervention in the renovation of the classrooms and promised that the community would continue to join hands at improving the education sector. Responding on behalf of the family, Chief Mrs. Modukpe Woshino explained that their father's love for education inspired them to donate to the school. She proceeded that the hall would help tremendously for myriad use such as the General Assembly, literary, debating and cultural activities, prize-giving events, and many more. A news just coming in now that the federal government, through the National Universities Commission, has withdrawn its circular which ordered vice chancellors, pro-chancellors, and governing councils to reopen federal universities, the Punch reports. The commission, in an earlier circular addressed to all vice chancellors, pro-chancellors, and chairmen of governing councils of federal universities, ordering them to reopen universities. But in another circular, which was also signed by the Director, Finance and Account of the NUC, Sam Onazi, the commission withdrew the order. The June 2022 edition of the Combined Confirmation, Promotion Test and Compulsory Examination for officers in the junior and superior officers cadres in the Ogun State Public Service has been scheduled to hold between Wednesday 28 and Friday 30 September 2022. According to a statement by the Permanent Secretary, Bureau of Establishments and Training, Mrs. Lydia Fajombo, the examination would take place at Babalaki Memorial Hall, Mashood Abela Polytechnic, Ojeri, Abeokuta, starting at 9 in the morning daily. The statement called on all registered candidates to come with copies of their staff identity cards, letters of appointment, or inter-cadre transfer for the collection of their examination identity cards between Monday 26 and Tuesday 27 September 2022 at the Staff Development Center, Okelewo, Abeokuta, from 10 in the morning each day. Mrs. Fajombo also advised officers in each cadre to check the examination timetable attached with the circular letters sent to their agencies to prepare ahead. It would no longer be business as usual in the Federal Civil Service, as future promotions will now be based on performance evaluations and targets practice. The Director General of Bureau of Public Service Reforms, Dansuki Arabi, stated this while featuring an OGTV Current Affairs program. Outset.
We have introduced performance management, and the spirit behind that is to hold people accountable. We have gotten MDAs to produce their key performance indicators. We have produced standard operating procedures, and that means we'll give you the opportunity and chance to work. If you are not able to deliver on your targets, you will not be promoted. It's another way of taking us to task, making us to deliver on our responsibilities. And those days of people just getting to the office, sitting down without anything without doing anything, going back, and end of the month you get your salary and you are promoted, will be over.
Disclosed that Treasury Single Account TSA and digitalization will soon eradicate revenue leakages and other forms of corruption in the service.
On the issue of revenue, I think we are just being too fast. TSA and digitalization of our process and records management system is almost closing gaps of leakages in revenue generating agencies. Whether they are doing well or they are not doing well, that I cannot comment on. But I believe that by the time we complete the digitalization process, there is no way you can divert any money belonging to government into a personal account.
The full interview comes up Tuesday at 9:30 in the morning. The Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment has begun the National Integrated Labour and Factory Inspection in Akwa Ibom State. It also expressed satisfaction with the level of compliance to labour laws and acts, as well as global expectations by industries and organizations in the state. The permanent secretary in the ministry, Mrs. Daju Kachelam, spoke with journalists on Monday after leading a delegation of the officials of the ministry on an inspection visit to Savannah Energy Limited and Champion Breweries in Uyo, the state capital. She explained that the visit was not an investigation into the affairs of the organizations, but to ensure compliance with labor laws. The director of the Inspectorate Unit of the Ministry, Mr. Ajuwon Dauda Adeni, said that though the ministry applied sanctions where necessary, the essence of the inspection, he said, is to point out areas where compliance level is low and tell the organizations what is expected of them. Ahead of this year's World Tourism Day, Ogun State government has unveiled its plan to celebrate the day, which is set to focus on the future with the theme, Rethinking Tourism. Commissioner for Culture and Tourism in Ogun State, Honorable Adijat Adeleye Oladapo, said tourism's relevance has never been cleared, and the time is now to seize this opportunity to rethink how to conduct tourism.
Tomorrow is World Tourism Day, just like you have mentioned. The theme for this year is Rethinking Tourism. I think they came about that because we usually get that theme from it's an international team actually, because we are just coming out of COVID. Like this time last year, we were still using masks. So there's a need for us to begin to rethink tourism. You know, tourism has gone down because of COVID. Tomorrow we are going to be at Cultural Center, June 12 Cultural Center. The program will be starting by 11.
That Ogun State, blessed with many tourist attractions, is set to come out in new dimension as the ministry will give it a new drive to generate income.
You know, the government alone cannot do it. We have some sites that we need to develop, and we are looking into the public-private partnership. Like I said, our door is wide open. We are open to ideas, we are open to financing, we are open to people coming in to, you know, develop some of these sites. And tourism is a money-making sector. They will surely make whatever money they invest in whichever site they are interested in. So I'm using this opportunity to call on tourism-oriented people to come into Ogun State and adopt one of our tourist sites so that they can make money and we equally improve and develop some of the sites.
Tourism Day will be celebrated on the 27th of September 2022 at the June 12 Cultural Center, Kuto, Abeokuta. Some retired military officers on Monday defied early morning downpour to stage the third phase of their protest at the headquarters of Ministry of Defense, Abuja. The protesters lamented the non-payment of their security development allowance, among others. The aggrieved protesters, joined by some relatives of the deceased personnel, blocked access road to the ministry located at Ship House on Olusegun Obasanjo Way in the Federal Capital Territory. The military veterans, under the aegis of the retired members of the Nigerian Armed Forces and the coalition of concerned veterans, accused the Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi, retired, of being insensitive to their plight. Addressing journalists during the protest, spokesman of the CVV, Abeokuta Roberts, vowed that they would not leave the ministry's entrance until their demands are met. He said they had already made arrangement to sleep overnight if the situation warrants. The marriage union is a sacred institution that must be kept together in its sanctity as the fabric of the larger society. Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Engineer Naimat Okoyedele, made this known as the 2-in-1 Nikai and the wedding ceremony between the daughter of the late Alaye of Ayetoro, Princess Adedoyin Fagbiri, and Tosin Omolade, put together by Iyasuna of Ayetoro and Ogun State Chief Mrs. Adebisi Ndiosiri. Matthew Shomi completes the report.
Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Engineer Naimat Okoyedele, former Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Alhaja Salmot Badru, Chief Judge of Ogun State, Honorable Justice Mosumola Dipeolu, traditional rulers joining the Iyasuna of Ayetoro and Ogun State, Chief Mrs. Adebisi Ndiosiri, who is standing in the gap for the Fagbiri royal family of Ayetoro as the daughter of the late Alaye of Ayetoro, Princess Adedoyin Fagbiri, is joined with her heartthrob Tosin Omolade to become husband and wife. The Iyasuna of Ayetoro organized this 2-in-1 wedding program not only to celebrate the love between the two lovers, but also to immortalize the late monarch, presenting the marriage certificate to the couple after being joined together in Islamic way. Engineer Naimat Okoyedele encouraged them to always remember what they have been told. In his sermon, Imam Modiru Olaleye and Olu of Imashayi, Oba Lukman Koye, who was among the royal fathers at the occasion, urged the wife to be submissive to her husband and never allow external influence that contribute to the destruction of many homes get them apart.
The most important thing is how the union will remain forever.
If you go to school before, it is after you finish your course that you'll be given certificate. The first thing you get before entering into it is certificate, which connotes that you did not know where you are going. But in order to defend or to protect the certificate you are carrying, you must be very, very extraordinarily careful, especially if you are from royal family.
Chief Mrs. Adebisi Ndiosiri expressed her delight in the success of the 2-in-1 marriage ceremony and described the late Alaye.
Nigeria's 11 electricity distribution companies generated 210.17 billion naira in combined revenue in the fourth quarter of 2021. The quarterly report by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission shows. The report released Thursday showed that the power firms realized the amount out of 303.11 billion naira they projected for that quarter. The amount is 16.67 billion naira higher than the turnover for the preceding quarter. The total billing by discos to customers in 2021 quarter 4 increased by 11.03% from 273 billion naira recorded in 2021 quarter 3, while the revenue collected by discos in 2020 quarter 4 rose by 8.60% recorded in 2021 quarter 3. These indicate a further reduction in collection efficiency in 2021 quarter 4 relative to 2021 quarter 3, the document said. Ikeja Disco accounted for the biggest revenue at 42.5 billion naira, a 3 billion naira jump over the Q2 revenue of 39.5 billion naira. Away from that now, the revenue shared in August by the three tiers of government dropped by 280.948 billion naira as the federal, state and local government councils shared 673.137 billion naira. They had shared 954.085 billion naira for July, acclaimed to be the highest this year. That was a rise by 151.678 billion naira from the 802 billion naira the government got for June. According to records from the Federation Account Allocation Committee, the August revenue of 673.137 billion naira included gross statutory revenue of 437.871 billion naira, value-added tax of 215.266 billion naira, and augmentation of non-oil excess revenue of 20 billion naira. Out of the sum, the federal government received 259.641 billion naira. The 36 states got 222.949 billion naira, while the LGCS got 164.247 billion naira. The oil-producing states received 26.301 billion naira as derivation, that is 13% of mineral revenue. The British pound crashed to a record low against the US dollar on Monday on growing fears about the stability of UK government finances. The plunge of nearly 5% to just about $1.03 came during trading in Asia and Australia on Monday and extended a 3.6% dive from Friday, surpassing predictions the pound could plunge to parity with the US dollar. It recovered slightly as European traders came online, rising back to $1.07. The currency slump follows British Chancellor of the Exchequer Kwasi Kwarteng's announcement on Friday that the United Kingdom would implement the biggest tax cuts in 50 years at the same time as boosting government borrowing and spending in the face of high inflation. Brent, the global benchmark for crude, dropped in price on Sunday as virtually all oil grades witnessed reduced prices on the first day of the week, despite efforts by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries to stabilize the cost of the commodity. As oil prices plunged, data obtained from the September 2022 oil market report of OPEC indicated that an oil rig in Nigeria was dormant in August 2022 when compared to the number of functional rigs in the preceding month. Industry figures seen in Abuja showed that Brent dropped in price by $4.31 or 4.76% to $86.15 per barrel as at 4.18 Nigerian time, with crude lost 4.75 or 5.69% to close at $78.74 per barrel, while the cost of oil grades in OPEC basket dropped marginally by $0.24 or 0.25% to close at $96.31 per barrel. Data from OPEC's world rig count on operational rigs in Nigeria as at August this year indicated that the number of functional rigs in the country reduced from 11 in July to 10 in August. The organization stated that in 2029, the average number of functional oil rigs in Nigeria was 16, but this dropped to 11 in 2020 before eventually crashing to 7 in 2021. And lastly, the Inspector General of Police IGP Usman Alkali Baba has confirmed the seizure of no fewer than 123 oil tankers used in perpetrating oil theft. The IGP reiterated his administration was committed to continuously developing the improved capacity of its officers through practical training and acquiring top-notch investigative and operational assets to sustain the fight against oil theft and other crimes capable of sabotaging the country's economy. The IGP made the disclosure while briefing the Senate ad hoc committee on to investigate oil lifting, theft, and the impact on petroleum production and oil revenues via a report on the activities of the IGP Special Task Force on Petroleum and Illegal Bunkering. And that was Business News. Thanks so much for watching. Back to Idowu for the rest of the bulletin.